Knowledge is the key when it comes to success when buying an Australian property, particularly if you are located overseas. You see, you may be a foreign investor, or you may be an expatriate or a potential migrant, and you could be living in New York or London or Singapore or Hong Kong or Tokyo, and you want to buy an Australian property while you're living overseas to take advantage of the fact that you probably have a job, you have a secure income, you can get mortgage financing, you're not ready to relocate just yet, you'd like to get into the market. There can be a myriad of different reasons. However, I've identified 14 potential and common pitfalls that many investors and potential homeowners and migrants make when trying to buy an Australian property from overseas. And pitfall number 2 in my list of 14, and they're not in any specific order, is not putting your professional team in place before starting to look for a property. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we think about it for a moment, the vendor or the seller of the property you're going to buy, whether it's an individual selling a house or an apartment, whether it's a property developer selling a townhouse or a unit, they have a professional team in place before you come on the scene to buy. They have their own agents and selling team in place. They've had professional solicitors prepare the contracts. They've had a whole marketing professionals or a marketing team prepare brochures, floor plans, videos. They've had a property valuer give them exact information as to pricing. They've had their building inspectors come and look through the property. So it makes sense you should have your professional team in place as well. Before a professional sports team takes the field, before a football team goes on the field, they have already in place, obviously, a manager, a team manager. They have a trainer. They have a physiotherapist. They have a doctor or a first aid person. They have a dietitian and chefs, all working for the team before they go on the field. And behind the scenes, they have their finance team and their accountants and solicitors looking after the players' contracts. So no professional football team, or soccer team, rugby team, hockey team, basketball team will go onto the field or the court without having their whole team in place. I like to use sports analogies of those of you who know me. So you should have your own team in place. So who should be in your primary team? Your primary team should comprise a trusted mortgage broker or banker, your buyer's agent, your solicitor, your accountant, and ideally somebody to help you with the research, a researcher. That should be, without any doubt, the team you need to put in place before you start looking for a property. Your secondary team, your more or less behind the scenes team, shall we say, should comprise a building inspector or surveyor, a pest expert, if it's going to be a house particularly you're going to buy, tradesman, builder or handyman to give you quotes on repairs or needed repairs that you might have to do or improvements, and a trusted property manager to look after the rental if you're going to be renting it out for a period from the time you buy it to the time you return to Australia or move to Australia and move in. So there you have it. Put your team in place before you start looking for Australian properties. If you'd like to get a copy of the full 14 common and costly mistakes that many overseas buyers are making, common pitfalls, I've identified 14 of them. In the description below, there will be a link where you can download the full report.